Hello family, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you to our new subscribers. So stay tuned for today's tutorial. So today we are making a wrap apron dress, and we're going to start with our waistline from the shoulder going down to our waist. I used 17.5 inches, and then now I'm marking the chest line. So the chest line that I have used is 9 inches, so I marked it. So to get your chest line, I added a short video of how you can measure your shoulder to waistline, your shoulder to chest line. And then now, that's the formula to get your shoulder measurement. We divide by 2 because our pattern is on fold. So I'm going to mark 9 inches at the top, at the shoulder line. And then I'm going to connect that 9 inches all the way down to the chest line. That will be our armhole, and then I'm going to curve it later. And then I'm going to come down by 1 inch. It's called a shoulder drop, because our shoulders are not straight, they're a little bit slant, so that will be in 1 inch. And then from there I'm going to come in by 3.5 inches. That will be the neck width, 3.5 inches. And then from there I'll be marking our neck depth. We are marking 7 inches. So we're marking from the shoulder line going down 7 inches neck depth. And we're going to connect the two so that we can draft our heart neckline. And some people call it a sweetheart neckline. It's just one and the same thing. And then after you connect, you also connect your shoulder drop. The 1 inch that you dropped, you connect it to your shoulder line, that slant. And then I'm just marking half of our armhole and make a mark there. Come up 3 inches for our heart neckline. We come up 3 inches, and you take your French cave ruler. You can buy, I bought this on AliExpress. And then I had to come up 1/2 inch, not 1 inch. So that is 1/2 inch for the sewing allowance for the heart neckline. So this will be the front. And for the back, I'll come down 1 inch. That's the back neckline. You come down 1 inch, and then you connect it from the shoulder line. And then after doing that, we get half of our armhole. That will be the half mark. So from your shoulder drop, you join the lines. Please don't copy what I did there. That was wrong. You should join from the shoulder drop, coming inside to the halfway. And then you're going to take your bust measurement divided by 4, and the answer is 12 plus half-inch sewing allowance. So you add that to your chest line. So you mark the 12.5 inches to your chest line. And then after you mark it, you then join the rest of your armhole to that point. So it's easy if you have the French curve ruler to draw the curves. It is much easier. Okay, so now we have our armhole. After that, from your waistline, you come up 5 inches. You come up 5 inches and you make a line there. And then you connect that line coming from your armhole. You connect it. That's the extension for our wrap dress. That part. So you neatly connect it like that. Yes, and now you're done with your pattern. So when you cut your pattern, please cut your material on fold. Fold. I'll show you the next steps. So if you want, you can put some sewing allowance there. I didn't put on mine. I just put it on my shoulder. I added a little bit of sewing allowance. There you go. You have your pattern, and you can keep it and use it, or you can adjust it with different sizes. So that will be our back pattern for the back of the dress. Because of the neckline, it's 1 inch deep. But then if we cut here, we are making the front of our dress. That's the front part of the upper part of the dress. So it'll look like this, but when you cut it, please cut it on fold when you cut your material. Yeah, so that would be our front. I had made another pattern. This was the first pattern that I drafted when I made my first wrap dress. So it will look like this. So now I'll show you the material. So the top part, that is the pattern that we drafted, and I cut it the main fabric and the lining. And for the bottom part, the skirt part, it's 27 inches long, and then I'll gather it later. So for the back part, that one, the first thing you do is to attach the neckline. That's the first thing that you do for both of them, the front and the back. Attach the neckline like what I just showed you there. And then after you have attached it, make notches in the corner so that it's easy to iron and turn it around. And also, if you want, you could make stitches towards the lining there. You can make stitches. It'll come out neat because the lining will stay black inside, like what I'm showing you there. So that's the front. You look at the neckline, it's coming out so nice. So that one is called the heart neckline. It looks like the top of the heart. So for the belt, this we are going to attach it at the front. See, it's 2 inches when it's folded. So you sew the edges and leave the other side open. That is the one that we're going to attach. And it is 30 inches long. The belt is 30 inches long. That's the small belt that we're going to attach to our front piece for the dress. So this is just how I turned it after sewing. So after you turn it, you iron it so that it's straight and neat. Okay, so now we're attaching it. So you mark 1/2 inch from the bottom, from the waistline. You mark 1/2 inch, and then you attach it like what I've just done there. So you can sew it to the fabric before you put the lining on top, or you can sew it all together, well, with the main fabric and the lining. So you put the lining on top like that. You neatly arrange it so that it's neat. And then you sew it. You can double stitch it where the belt is so that it's stronger. And then after that, this is the big belt, the one that it will be attached to the back piece, the one that we tie in front. So it is 5 inches, 5, and then it is 45 inches long, 45 inches. Yes. So from the bottom, you remove 3 inches. We want to shape the belt so that it's kind of small at the front and getting bigger as it goes into the dress. So you can just do what I did there and then cut. So you sew at the smaller part going down to the bigger part. Do not sew the bigger part. That is the one that you're gonna turn with. You're going to turn with that open part. So after you sew your big belt, you measure 1/2 inch from the waistline. You also measure 1/2 inch from the top part there, and then you place your big belt. And then you put your lining on top like what we just did on the first part with the back part, and then you sew it. So this is the bottom part of the dress. So you just hem the edges like that, and then you gather it. And then the bottom part, I usually do it after I finish everything. And please do not forget to iron every stage. It makes your work very neat. So I just finished ironing, and I'm going to show you how to join your shoulders, how to neatly join the shoulders. So just pay attention to what I've just done there. I put my hands through the back piece of the dress, and then I pulled in the front, and then I flip everything over. And just neatly arrange your work and take your time so that it comes out neat. So people subscribing and commenting will help me see what kind of content you like, what I should make. And we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. We're left with the bottom part that we're going to gather. So after you secure with your pins, you then go and sew. Wow, guys, look at that. That is so beautiful, and it's so easy to make. No zip, no elastic. That is very easy to make. So now you can now attach your bottom part, the skirt. So you attach it and sew it at 1/2 inch. You just neatly attach it and then sew through, just like what I'm showing you. So there are two pieces, the front and the back one. And that is the back piece. So after joining the bottom part of the dress, your dress will look something like that. That is so beautiful. It's very easy to make. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section and I'll help you. Thank you for watching. Bye.